run out of space already?
No, but
okay, so when I'm centering for throwing off the hump, I will use, just the top section of the clay, and I will center the amount of clay I want to use plus extra. I always make sure that if I'm going to use this diameter of clay, that I have a column almost twice the height of what I want to use. And it helps solve the cutoff problem that Terry was worried about. Alright, so we're going to go for a good opening. And then we're going to open that up. And remember to compress the bottom. You do not want to skip compressing when you're throwing off the hump. And now I'm going to collar this whole thing, bottom to top. And now this is where I'm going to find my bottom. So I'm going to bulge out a little bit. And I know my bottom needs to be cut at least here, so they don't cut the bottom off my piece. And a little bit of water in there. Now I'm going to throw my best possible cylinder. Give me a little bit of water in there. And I guess we're going to go with a bottle for this first one. Alright, so again, I'm going to make sure I know where my bottom is. I want my bottom a little bit thick, so I can trim it. Okay, so we have the thickness that we want. Now we're going to go for the form. And I'm going to go ahead and bulge it out a little bit. And then make a little bottle here.
oh, Marlene, you're good. You're prepared.
And let's maybe.
I'm gonna catch this when it comes off. Oh, that's nice.
2 minutes, 30 seconds, still going.
Alright, so we have a little bottle. Go ahead and clean up the top rim a little bit. Oh, then wipe off our hands. Wow, that's the cleanest towel I've used in a long time. Okay, so cut off. I'm going to start with my string parallel, put it in the kerf, and now I'm going to tilt it just a little bit. So I just took my wire and I curved it a little bit like this, right? And made this kerf wider. Now I'm going to wrap the wire all the way in the kerf until my fingers touch on the other side, and then I'm going to keep one finger still and pull on the other one. And now I have a little
Piece number
with a
one.
flat bottom. So, important step, make sure your column is taller than you need for the piece you're making. Go ahead and dive in. If you have a really tall column and it happens to be a skinny one, if you're doing itty bitty pots.
Excuse me.
Ah, thank you very much. We'll just put that there. So instead of just pulling on it, I'm actually gonna like sit my finger here for a rotation point and turn my finger like this, and open that guy up down there at the bottom. So it ends up pushing the rim out a little bit this way and the bottom out this way. And now I'm going to remember to compress my bottom really well, and I'm going to go for a little bowl here. So I'm not going to be as aggressive as when I collar it in, but collar it in, fix your rim, a little bit of moisture on the inside, and now we're going to go ahead and pull a little bit of a flower pot shape. Too much water in there. I'm going to bulge out at the bottom and mark my bottom again. Where do I want my cutoff to be?
A little lower than you expect
A little
it to be.
a little lower than where the bulge is, right? And you can trim a thick bottom pot.
Right.
Not as easy to fix a thin bottom pot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and actually, I don't need to because of the scale, but I'm going to go ahead and scrape the moisture off the outside. And now we're going to turn this into a little bowl.
A friend of mine, I think she throws like 10 little pots off of that. She's really good. But I haven't mastered it.
And then we'll do a rim.
So much easier to have one, centered big.
One center big chunk of clay. So.
That's a nice little bowl.
All right, again with the wire. Find your mark. Oop, my shirt just did my rim.
Zip it up here.
All right, so start parallel, drop one little finger down until you get a bit of a curve, bigger curve. Line it in there, and I'll go from the side here. Get your fingers next to each other, and then just pull one finger back. Must be done with a small or a fishing line wire. If you do that same move with a metal wire, you just mess up your wire. Or it chops off your bottom.
That's all I have. Okay.
And there's a whole bunch of single strand wires over there. So what's the next shape? A cup shape?
Gee, Jeff, you touched those.
Oops.
You've got a sculpture beginning there.
A tall column. Dive, dive, dive. Set your finger. Rotate that stuff out. Compress like crazy so you don't get S-cracks. Collar up through it.
7 minutes and going strong.
Fix your rim. I know, it's pretty amazing the technology nowadays, isn't it? Moisture content. Push, bulge out, find your bottom, mark it. Sometimes if your cylinder gets too tall, you can't reach down and bulge it out. So that's why I mark it early in the process. Alright, so we have our cylinder done. Now we gotta worry about the size of it. Now, this is a little move I do. I'm just gonna fix my rim a little bit here. I want this to be wider at the rim, and if I just pull, it takes forever to get wider. So what I'll do is I'll use 2 fingers on the inside, and I will spread them out like so, and then I'll come down and spread them out a little bit. And come down here. All the way down at the bottom now. Make sure that bottom is lovely. How far out do I want to go? Let's make it a little bit wider down here at the bottom than it is at the top.
So your big mass at the bottom doesn't look totally centered.
It doesn't need to be. Only, from here up it has to be centered, basically. I do pay attention once in a while, and if I've been using a lot of water, if I remember to scrape that water off, then I won't end up with a goopy mass when I get to the ends. Just got a goober there on the inside. Alright, so find your mark. Our kerf is really big enough already, but
your what?
the kerf, the little mark in there was probably big enough that I didn't need to redraw it. But any other shapes?
That's
Is that good?
Pot. You're doing a pot
You can hit
within
stop.
a pot within a pot.
Pardon?
You can hit stop if you want.
I'm making juice.